praise you, Lord. There's no one else to please. You're my God, I'm a Lord. You save me from the coldest nights, and you save me from myself. When I couldn't even see what was right and what was wrong, you drew me in, you drew me in, you drew me in. When the Lord was saying that out of the womb will come two different nations, you have to understand two different nations could be Ethiopia, Nigeria, Egypt, what's some other country, Congo. These are different nations. He wasn't talking about like a white man and a black man. It was talking about even from Abraham, the nations that came forth from him, because Abraham had his first wife Sarah, and then he has his second wife, right? After Sarah died, and those sons that he had from both of them, Isaac, of course, Israel, and then there was Ishmael, and then there was the sons of Keturah, his second wife, and all of them were different nations, right? Now, they came from the same father. So, if you're talking about twins right now, Jacob and Esau, you're saying the black man and the white man and they're brothers. Yes, it says the Lord hated Esau, but Esau was never the white man. Just because it says he's redder doesn't mean it's a white man. Sit there screaming in the street corners, and what I see is an insecure black person that never fully healed. That's why you out there in purple and in tassels, while you're not even understanding the differences between the New Testament and the Old Testament, have the biggest mouth in these street corners, looking stupid. You're looking foolish. You're looking real foolish because God did not call you to do that.
Jesus Christ is coming. Jesus Christ is coming. Jesus Christ is coming back. Turn to Jesus before it's too late. God loves you. Hell and heaven are two real places. The Bible says that whosoever will turn to Jesus Christ will not perish in hell.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakha HaKwadash. And double honor to the elders and apostles of men of great millstone. And to the rest of the brethren on down is teaching and preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Shalawam Bayat Shah Dawada. And to the Akim and Akwat that's out there repenting. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans whose fathers go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob Yasha'Allah, Shalom to you, Mashpachah, and also to the speckled bird of our people that's among the other nations, looking like the other nations. Shalom. And I just want to go until you saw those clips, those 3 clips right there. I don't know if she a sister or whatever, but the first one, absolutely hilarious. The second one, boy, I tell you, absolutely ridiculous. And the third one, and the second one, I got off the elder brother, Manata Zabah from out of South Carolina. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. And the third one, that's the mouth of a hypocrite right there. You see. But you saw the second clip, which is what this individual was saying pertaining to how can one person have two different nations of people. Like, you don't understand that? See? So we gonna grab a few scriptures here, there, and here, and then we gonna go ahead and end it off, right? Because it's just a quick one. I'm gonna try to make this fairly quick. But let's start off right here. Dealing with the first thing, she said, how can a man have children and they become two different nations of people? Because she don't seem to get it that the white man is because it said he's red. That don't mean that they was so-called Esau was so-called white people. You just don't get it. And then was sitting back talking about how can they be two different nations of people. And then talking about Abraham had the other nations would be how Abraham had, or the Ethiopians, and these people would be different nations, and Abraham had Ishmael and Isaac, who she called Yasharallah, who she called Israel. No, Isaac was not Israel. Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob. You see. And then talking about Abraham had Keturah children, which was by the same man. She said, how can they be? They was literally different nations of people. You don't understand this. As a matter of fact, let me just grab this. Let's go to Acts, though, first. Acts, the 17th chapter. And let's go down to around the 25th, 26th verse. Right? And when people read this, they literally would think that this is talking about Adam. Acts 17 and 26. I'm reading straight to the point. Acts 7 and 26. It says what? And had made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and had determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Meaning, not only the location pertaining to the bounds of the land that they're going to dwell in, also the time that they're going to be in. When you're dealing with these kingdoms that came into the earth, these different kingdoms, these different empires, they had a time limit from the start of it and to the end of their rulership within that time. See? And the bounds of where they was going to go, or where they was going to dwell at. You see? But it said, had made of one blood all nations. When you look at the people on earth right now, you can't say, we all go back to Adam. You go back through Noah. You see? Now, when you dealing with Noah, going back from Noah back, everybody on the earth can't say, we go back to Adam. You know why? Because within Adam's line, it was only one particular family that stemmed from Adam's line that led up to Noah. You see? But all the people of the earth right now, they'll say, we go back to Adam. Well, no, you can claim and say you go back to Noah, but then they'll say when you deal. I want to punch it up. Matter of fact, let me just show this real quick. Right, when you go back, let's go to Genesis the 5th chapter, so I can make my point. Genesis the 5th chapter, right? Now it says right here, this is the book of the generations of Adam, in the day that Yahweh created man. In the likeness of Yahweh made he him. And then it says, male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. And this is going to go into all the names. Now, mind you, in the beginning, when Cain and Abel was born, they wasn't the only people in the earth. You see, matter of fact, let me go there real quick. Let me just make this real quick, though. Just want to make this point. 3, right? Let me see. Is it 2? And let's go straight down to it, right? I want to get straight to the point for the sake of time. Let's go down. I want to get straight to it. It was 3. Right. Let me see. And I want to get straight to the point. Oh, was it 4? Yeah, it was 4. Genesis 4, right? Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Right? And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And then it says, well, in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground of an offering unto Yahweh, and Abel he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Now I'm going to come down to the point, right? Let's jump into 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him, meaning and killed him. Now, I'm going to go down to the point. You see, you read that, and then it said, I want to come to the point. Now, we go grab right here. We're going to start at 12. But let's just go to 13. And Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from the face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, which is the mark of a leprosy, lest any findeth him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife. Wait. It says Cain knew his wife. And so where did he go? He went to another land and got him a wife. Now, if it was only Adam and his wife, and Cain and Abel, how the hell Cain go to another land and get a wife? Which shows you it was other people outside of this particular Adam. See, it was other people in the earth. It wasn't just Adam, Eve, and then they had 2 sons, and then they multiplied from that. No, it was other people in the earth. Because how did Cain go get him a wife in the land of Nod? You see? It was other people in the earth during that time. Now, the reason why I read that is because all people can't say, you that's dwelling on the earth now, you can't say, oh yeah, we we go back to Adam. Because before the flood, it was other people. Now, that particular line, let me go back to it in the 5th chapter. Now, people say that's in the earth now, that they go back to Adam. Because why? Because of Noah. That one seed that all the people is in the earth right now, all these different nations in the earth right now, you come through Noah, through one of Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. You see? And within those 3 sons, they had sons. And those sons of these 3 became nations. Their sons became nations of people, while you have different nations of the people. Mind you, coming out of this one man's loins, 3 sons, of where the whole earth was overspread now by these 3 sons. And many nations these sons had sons, and these sons, their sons became different nations of people. You see? So far as a person saying, how can one person have changed? These people be different people. That's what you don't get. It's the same way with us, the Israelites, the descendants of Jacob, is a nation. Then you got these so-called Caucasian, so-called self-proclaimed white people. They the nation of Edom. See? 2 different nations of people. But I just wanted to show that real quick. Now, when you go into this Genesis, the 5th chapter, when you're dealing with Adam descendants and Abel, and you see Adam now, Cain killed Abel, so it had the Seth came, and this is what you see in verse 3. This is Seth, and then Seth had descendants all the way up, going into when you get to Noah. You see. So the reason why I read those things, because when you go back to the Acts 17, when they made that statement in Acts 17, Let's grab it real quick. Acts 17:26, and it says, and had made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth. You see what it's, now who is it talking about? Is it talking about Adam? Because how can it be talking about Adam when all the people that was in the earth before the flood, they all didn't come of Adam. Only ones came of Adam was that particular line that you saw in Genesis, the 5th chapter. You see? Dealing with this particular line. And then within that particular line, that didn't even include Cain's descendants. You see, it did not include Cain's descendants. See, but the point of what I'm saying is that when you go into this, when people say, "Oh, we all come of Adam," well, the people that was before the flood, they all didn't come of that particular Adam during that particular line that goes back to Noah, all the way back to, so on and so forth, to Seth. You see? And that's why people don't understand this. But let's go grab that Genesis real quick. See, and let's read that. Why this person don't understand why, how can one person make different nations? It's easy. It's easy. Because the Most High, he goes, oh, now I got to go back. I want to go back to that Genesis, the 10th chapter, too, to go into those sons of Ham, Shem, and Japhet. Shem and Japhet, right? But let me grab this. Genesis 25. And let's start at, and I'll start at 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord Yahweh said, was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people. What? 2 manner of people, meaning people. One person is going to become this people, and this person is going to become that people. They're not going to be the same nation of people. And it says, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people. These 2 sons were not the same people. See? Yeah, they came from the same man loins, but they not the same people. Now, before I continue, though, right quick, let's go to Genesis 10 right quick to show, right? Now, just like Esau and Jacob were born and they became 2 different nations of people, when you come into Genesis, let's go Genesis 10 and 1, when you're dealing with Noah's descendants, his offspring. Now, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. And unto them were sons born after the flood. And then you go into the descendants of Japhet. These particular Japhites, they became basically nations of people. See? They basically they Japhites, but they became different nations of people within the posterity of Japhet's descendants of Japhet. Right? The same way, and I ain't going to read it all, but I'm just going to come to the point. And then it says Ham, because the chick was mentioning, talking about the Ethiopians and so on and so forth. They different nations. Well, yeah, they all Hamites, but you got different nations of Hamites. You see? And it says, and the sons of Ham, Cush. Cush was the Ethiopians. And Mizraim. Mizraim is the Egyptians. They both Hamites, but they're different nations of people within the Hamitic nation. And it says, and Put, which is the original Libyans, and Canaanites, and Canaan. These are all Hamites. And then you go into his sons, those particular sons that had sons. You see? Now, I'm just going to jump down for the sake of time, because I'm already it's willing. Now, these are sons of Canaan. These are Hamites right here. But they different nations of Ham. You see? The Egyptians, you ask the ancient Egyptians, is you an Ethiopian? They'll tell you, no, I'm not no Ethiopian. You see? You ask an Ethiopian, are you a Canaanite? They'll tell you, no, I'm not a Canaanite. Man, mind you, they both Hamitic nations, but they're not the same people within that Hamitic nation. They all the descendants of Ham, but they're not the same nation within that nation. You see? And then it says, let's come down, and I'm just going to jump. So you got Shem, Ham, and Yaphat descendants, right? But let's get Shem. Now it says what? And unto Shem also. Now you got different Shemites. You got Lot offspring, which is Moab and Ammon. They're Shemitic people, which we refer to as the Japanese and Chinese and Japanese people. Moab and Ammon. They're Shemitic, but do you go look at them? Do they say they're the same nation of people? No, they're Shemitic people, but within their nation, do they say they're the same nation of people? No, they not. Chinese people don't say they Japanese, and Japanese people don't say that they Chinese. See? Now, you got Arabs, Ishmael descendants. They're also Shemitic people. See? Then you got the East Indians. They're also Shemitic people, but they're not the same as Arabs. They're not the same. You got us, the Israelites. We're Shemitic people, but we're not the same as none of them. I'm just mentioning the descendants of Shem. Now it says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japhet, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam. Who is Elam? Elam is the so-called the East Indians, who you refer to as the Persians. See, the actual Persians. They descend out of this man Elam, one of the sons of Shem. And then you got Asher, which is what? The Assyrians, you see? And then you got who? The Assyrians, and then you got Arphaxad. Arphaxad goes down to the line with Eber, Salah, Eber, Abraham father, grandfather, Abraham father, Abraham, and then you have us, where Isaac and Jacob was born. You see? And then you had Lud and Aram. Aram is not the same as the Assyrians. See? Aram goes into those people, the Armenians or the people that was dwelling in Syria, not Assyria. Assyrian. You see? And these are Shemites, but they wind up becoming different nations. You see? Just to make it simple. You see? Now, when you're dealing with us as a nation of people, as Israelites, we also is a nation of Yasha'Allah, the children of Israel, but within our nation, each tribe of our nation is a nation of people within our nation. Let's grab it real quick. Genesis 35. Genesis 35. And let's start at 9. Jacob is named Yasha'Allah. Not Isaac name is Israel. Jacob, the son of Isaac, his name is Israel, Yasha'Allah, the prince of Yahweh. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan Aram and blessed him. And Yahweh power said unto him, thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called Jacob anymore, but Yasha'Allah, but Israel, but Yasha'Allah shall be thy name. And he called his name Yasha'Allah. You see? And it says what, 11? And Yahweh power said unto him, I am power almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company. This is talking about our forefathers. And that nation that was talking about was his 12 sons. The sons of Yasha'Allah. The Israelites. And then it says what? A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. Now, and this company and nation is what? The 12 tribes of Yasha'Allah. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, Reuben, Simeon, Gad, Issachar, Ephraim, and Manasseh, Zebulun, Asher, and Naphtali. You see? These all, the 12 tribes, each tribe is a nation within our nation. You see? Let's go here real quick. Genesis, the 48th chapter. See, and I'm just reading this because why? Individuals think that different nations can't come out of the loins of one man. And yes, different nations have came out of the loins of one man. That's why I read things pertaining to Noah. That's why I'm reading these things pertaining to those other nations, and I'm reading this pertaining to our forefather Jacob. 2 nations came out of his loins. They not the same people. We're not the same people as no damn Edomites. The Edomites is not the same people as the children of Yasharahla, the people of the Most High. They're not the same. So when you go here to Genesis 48, right, and let's go down to the point, because I'm already past my time anyway. Genesis 48, and let's grab, let me see. Well, we'll grab 19 for the point. Let's start at 18. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father. Now Joseph, this man, he had 2 sons. Each one of these sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, they're Israelites, but guess what? They're Israelites, and they became 2 different tribes within our nation. Basically, they 2 different nations within our nation. And it says what? And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of what? Nations. You see? And why did they say that? Because you're going to have Ephraim, he's going to go into the women of these other nations, and his seed is going to be among these other nations, and they're going to be caught. That's why people don't understand when they read Revelations, the 5th chapter and the 9th verse. They think that's talking about all people, but it's actually talking about the Israelites that's among these particular nations. And mind you, this happened with every single tribe. This happened with Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, of course, Issachar, Reuben, Simeon, Gad, Zebulun, Asher, and Naphtali. It happened with all the tribes. Later, when you get right now, we done went into all kind of women. And our seed is among these particular nations that could be possibly calling themselves of that nation. But are they of that nation? No, they're not. You see? But he said a multitude of his seed shall become a multitude of nations. You see? They are Israelites, but they in this time they'll be calling themselves all kind of stuff amongst the people that they dwell among. You see? But are they those people? No, they're Israelites. You see? But just making it as simple as I possibly can. Now the second clip where she made a statement and said something pertaining to that these brothers are making a fool of themselves, and then she said that they not supposed to. You not supposed. The Most High you ain't supposed to be doing that. What the fuck you mean? The man is you ain't supposed to be doing what you was doing. Well, rather what she was doing. She ain't supposed to be teaching. You saw the 3rd clip what I showed. That she was literally out there, her baby freezing in a damn stroller, and she out there with a microphone acting like she preaching and teaching the truth. She ain't supposed to be doing that. The Most High didn't set you up for that. Now, he set the men up for that. See? What did Yahushua do? Did not Yahushua pick 12 men? And what did Yahushua instruct the men to do? He said, go ye therefore out into the highways. Matter of fact, let's grab that first. Right? Matthew 22. And let's grab it, right? Matthew 22. Because these people was crazy as hell. But what he says, verse 9. And it says what? Go ye therefore out into the highways, and as many as ye find, bid them to the marriage. So what did he say those servants did? So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. Who did he say? Who is his servants? The men. Men. Let's go get this real quick. Proverbs. Because she said, y'all are making fools of yourselves, and the Most High didn't set y'all to do that. Yes, we is going to be made a spectacle and a fool, which I'm going to grab. We supposed to be out there doing that. And people supposed to look at it. We supposed to say, people going to say, oh, y'all foolish. They going to say that. Because that's what we've been set up for. You see? But what it says, let's start at 20. Proverbs 1 and 20. And it says what? Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. So the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to be doing what? What did he do? He told you to go out into the highways and as many as you find, bid them to the marriage. See, not no bidding on anybody, bidding our people back to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? She cried in the chief place of concourse in the opening of the gates in the city. She uttered her words saying, see? So this is going to be done in the streets. You see? In the streets. This is where it's going to be done. See? You going to make we going to be considered a spectacle and fools in the eyes of people. Where at? In the streets. You see? Let's grab this one. Proverbs 8, starting at verse 1. Do not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of the high places, by the way in the places of the paths, meaning what people going in and out at, turning left or right, going forth and back. She cries at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. And what did he say? Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. So who did the Most High tell to go out and do that? Men, not women. Men. That's who he called. See, to go and do those things. You see? As a matter of fact, let me grab these two real quick before I continue. All right. Yeah, I guess I got enough time. But let me grab this. 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 1 and 21. I want to read these first. Because she made a statement that said, you look like fools. But what it says right here. 1 Corinthians 1 and 21. For after that, in the wisdom of Yahweh, the world by wisdom knew not Yahweh. It pleased Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. By the what? By the foolishness of preaching. And what did she say? And they be out there on the corners and that stuff and yelling at people and stuff, and they look like fools. They just fools. They fools. Well, what does the scripture say right here? It pleased Yahweh by the foolishness of preaching. You see? To save them that believe. And that's only to the elect. That the elect might be saved. You see? Let's get this other one. What is that? 1 Corinthians 4. 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. And let's go down. You see? And it says what? In verse 9. It says, for I think that Yahweh has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle. And when you go into the word apostles, you got the elder apostles, and then you got the other brothers on down the tree. And it means, you mean the elder apostles, meaning the teachers, and then you got they pupils, the other teachers under them. But it says what? As it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. And what does a spectacle mean? Meaning they're going to laugh at you. You're going to be looking foolish in the eyes of these people. You see? But let's continue, though. Let's go to get this Ezekiel right quick. Because she made a statement and said, and she ain't even supposed to be doing what she was doing. Once again, the baby was in the stroller, coughing, and it's cold outside. And she's out there doing, out of line, man. Out of fucking line. Out of motherfucking line. And before my thing drop, let me stop it and then recontinue. Right, now let's go here. Ezekiel, the 34th chapter. Right? And let's go down to the last verse, 31. Let's start at 30. It says, Ezekiel 34 and 30. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord Yahweh, their God, am with them, and that they, even the house of Yasha'Allah, are my people, said the Lord power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Verse 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your God, said Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see? This is why Yahushua picked 12 men. He didn't pick 10 men and 2 women, 11 men and 1 woman, or either 5 men and 5 women. He picked 12 men. See? He didn't pick ain't no woman to be teaching the truth. That's the job for the men. That's what he said, oh, to you, O men, I call. And my voice is to the sons of men. Meaning what? What those sons of men going to do? What the sons of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua going to do? They're going to be preaching and teaching the words of our Father Yahweh through the spirit of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our big brother, our Lord, our King. You see? This is what's going to take place. Men are going to do this. You see? Just like when you go into Acts, the 6th chapter. Acts 6 and verse 1. What happened? In those days when the number of the disciples were multiplying, there arose a murmur of the Greeks against the Hebrews because their widows were neglected in the daily ministrations. And it says what? Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of Yahweh and serve tables. Wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men. What? 7 women? No, 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business. You see? They didn't appoint no women unto these business. Because why? That have been disobedient to the Most High Yahweh. You see? To be putting women in the ministry and doing the work of evangelists. That's not for women. That's for a man. You see? That's why you go. Let's go here real quick and wrap it up for just pertaining to that last one. So, how being a hypocrite when she made a statement and said, I guess she was talking about IUIC when she said these brothers in the purple shirt and they tassels and they out there and they ain't supposed to be out there. The Most High ain't set them up to do that. No, they out there because the Most High put them out there and told them to do that. That's why they out there. That's why all of us out here, those of us that the Most High have given you that lot to do it. You see? That lot ain't given to everybody of our people. You see? And then that makes me think that's why a lot of individuals be falling on the truth, because that lot wasn't given to you. You ain't accepted your lot or recognized your lot that was given to you. Everybody don't have that lot. That lot is not for everybody. You see? But I digress though. But let's grab this. Let's go to 1 Timothy 2. And let's grab 11. 2 and 11. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. What? Not let the woman teach. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach. What he says, I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And that's your job, to be in silence, not to teach. If you want to teach somebody, he's going to tell you, these are the instructions who you shall teach and what you shall teach. Tell them what you shall teach to them. Now let's get it. Titus chapter 2. If you a woman and you want to teach, now Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to give you your instructions through the mouth of his man, one of his men, which was Paul. This letter that Paul wrote to Titus, giving him his instructions, and he's laying out these instructions on what a woman is to do and what it says through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see? Why? Because when you go here, let's grab this first. Acts 1 and 1. The former treaties have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Yahweh shall begin both to do and teach, unto the day in which he was taken up. After that, he through the Holy Spirit had given commandments unto the apostles whom he had chosen. And this same thing went down to the men like Paul, Barnabas, Timothy, Titus, and so on and so forth. You see? But let's go back. Titus 2 and verse 3. And it says what? The aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things. Now it's for to tell you Who you supposed to be teaching? This is for pertaining to the older woman. Now, not only what you supposed to be teaching, but not who you supposed to be teaching, but what you supposed to be teaching. It ain't talking about pertaining to this truth. It's for to tell you what it says. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things. Who they gonna be teaching these good things to? That they may teach the young woman to be sober. What you gonna teach her? To be sober? That ain't talking about preaching the truth. To love their husbands? That's not talking about preaching the truth. To love their children? That's not talking about preaching the truth. And it says what? To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. You see that? So he's telling the women, this is what you to teach. The older women, you to teach the younger woman to do these things. This is what you to teach them. You see? This is what you to get them. This is what you to teach. You're not to teach the truth. That's the men's job. You see? You to teach the younger woman, the older woman to teach the younger woman, and the younger woman, she to be taught these things, and then she to do the same. To teach the younger woman to do what? To what? To be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient unto their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. You see that? That's what you to teach. That ain't got nothing to do with the truth. The evangelism, the ministry, that don't have anything to do with that. See? Let's grab this one. 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter. Long-winded. 1 Timothy 5 and verse 14, and it says what? I will therefore that the younger woman do what? Marry, bear children, guide the house. The same thing that what I just read in Titus. Right? I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. And do you know what that word reproachfully is? To speak in a shameful manner. See? And what is that shameful thing? Which I'm going to grab that. But what is that shameful thing? Matter of fact, let me show you this reproachfully. I ain't going to go into the blue letter to get it. Let me grab this. And you see the word right here. I said, does reproachfully means shameful? It says yes. Reproachfully means in a way that expresses disapproval, blame, or disappointment, often making someone feel shame or disgrace. It's closely linked to shame because the act of reproach aims to bring about a sense of fault or discredit, making something shameful or blameworthy. It's its core meaning expressing censor, blame, or disappointment like a reproachful look. Connection to shame. It implies that the action or person is worthy of shame or disgrace, as seen in archaic definitions and the noun form reproach, which means shame. What? The noun form of reproach, which means shame or disgrace itself. You see that? So let's go back to the text. So reading it again, 14, 1 Timothy 5 and 14. I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. What is that word reproachfully? In a shameful manner. It said to speak reproachfully. See, and it says what? For some are already turned aside after Satan. So when you disobeying this order of the Most High that he's told the women of our nation not to teach, you speak, when you do that, you're speaking in a reproachful manner. Meaning you're doing something that's shameful. Because why? It told you this. And I'm going to end it off with this one. 1 Corinthians 14. And let's go down to 34. 14 and 34. Let's start at 33. It says, for Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the assembly of the Israelites. It says the churches of the saints. The churches is the assembly of the saints, the Israelites, the saints. It says what? Let your woman keep silence in the churches, meaning in the assembly of the Israelites. Let her keep silence. She's not to teach. For it is not permitted unto them to speak, which means teach. Matter of fact, let's show that real quick, right? Let me grab that real quick, right? Let's go into that word speak, right? Let's go into that word speak right quick. You see the word? Laleo. It says to utter a voice or emit a sound, to speak of the tongue or the faculty of speech, so on and so forth, right? Now when you come down and it says to what? Laleo, prolonged form of an otherwise obsolete verb to talk, i.e. utter words, preach. You see that? So what it says that what? She is not to preach. She's not to do that. That's the man's job. See? Let's get another one real quick. Let's go to James 2, right? And when you go, what is that, 2 and 13? 11, 2 and 13? Yeah, 13. And it says what? No, there's, well, I'll grab that one, but I'm going to get this other one too. But let's grab this 2, and I started 13, but the point is in 12, right? And it says what? Yeah, let's start at 11. For he that said, do not commit adultery, also said, do not kill. Slakia. Now, if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. It says, so speak ye, right? Let's grab that word speak. See the same word right there. Laleo, right? Now, let me go grab this. The same word. Now let's go to Matthew, the 5th chapter. Show this real quick, right? Matthew 5, and I think it's around 20. Yeah, I could use that one, but let me go here real quick. Matthew 23. Let me see. Is that what I want? Right. Matthew 23 and verse 3. All therefore several what they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do ye not after their works, for they say and do not. You see what it says in NLT, what they teach. Now when you grab this word say, it's going to go into what? Laleo. You see what it says? Or slakia, not laleo, but lego. It says they say. When you go into the word say, it says what? Say, to speak, affirm, over, maintain, to teach. You see? You see? So when you go into that word, which I'm going to go back and show it real quick, right? Let's go back to it. When you go into the word, right here, to speak, laleo, it's going to go into the root word. It says speak, laleo, right? And that says, you see the word, it said preach. Now when you click on this, what it go to? Lego, which means to say, to speak, affirm, maintain, to teach. So going back to it, right? In 1 Corinthians 14:34, let your woman keep silence in the church, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, meaning preach, teach, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. Why? For it is a shame for a woman to speak, teach, preach in the assembly of the Israelites, in the church, in the assembly of the Israelites. See? It's a shame. See? Because that's a reproachful thing that you would try to do. So who was the one really looking like a fool out there with a baby in a stroller in the cold, acting talking like you preaching the truth? I'm going to end it off there. Giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Shabbat, Shem, Shalom, Yasharallah.